Welcome to AARP Illinois' virtual event. It's so wonderful to have you with us. AARP is on a mission to connect with individuals across various communities, especially those aged 50 and above. We're here to listen, understand, and address the unique needs of you and your community as we age. Our goal is to enrich your experience by expanding our local activities, providing opportunities for you to discover and engage with all that life has to offer right here in your own community and virtually. As we journey through today's event, we invite you to consider joining our dedicated team of AARP volunteers. It's a chance to make a meaningful impact and help us better serve those 50 plus across the nation. Connect with us and be a part of this vibrant movement toward positive change. Welcome. And let's make this event both fun and transformative.
Hi, I'm Tina Sloan. I refer to myself as an original torchbearer of the Chosen Few and the Chosen Few Picnic and the House Movement. I'm here today with Alan King. And let me start by giving him a proper introduction. Alan is known as a lawyer by day, a DJ by night. And he's an original member of the Chosen Few DJs. And he plays in clubs and events throughout the United States and abroad. Now, I'm surprised that you can do that with your busy schedule.
Yeah, I'm surprised too, Tina, but yes.
And you're very known these days also for your SoundCloud and your Twitch Saturday night event, which is, people have rave reviews about that. And you're the vice president of the Chosen Few DJs. And you represent house music in many different ways, including the Chosen Few Picnic, I guess formerly known as not a festival, but just a picnic. It has grown. We'll get into that later. Right. And one of our favorite moments of attending the Chosen Few Picnic is when President Obama popped in and gave accolades. That was for the 30th year, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, 25th anniversary, actually.
25th. Yeah. Oh, it was such a surprise, and then the fireworks came after. So right. It was really, really heartfelt and exciting. And you also you are also on the advisory board of the Frankie Knuckles Foundation.
Yeah, I'm getting tired just hearing you describe all these things. I appreciate being with you today, Tina, and appreciate AARP for, shining some light on house music and the house music movement, and certainly the Chosen Few Picnic. But as you said, there's a lot we can get into during this conversation. So great to be with you.
Yeah, well, I definitely want to thank you for participating in this virtual event on the behalf of AARP, AARP Chicago to be exact. And also, they're now a partner and a sponsor of the Chosen Few Picnic for 2024. And I'm really excited about that.
Yes.
AARP, yeah, they are really known for their support for adults over 50. And I think we're all excited to have them be a part of this, incredible, lasting event and legacy of the Chosen Few Picnic. So thank you for that. Can we start off by possibly talking about the Chosen Few Festival and what that means to the culture?
Yeah, and it's still hard for me to refer to it as a festival, but I suppose it is at this point a music festival, and we're very proud of what we've grown into. But just to give a very brief sort of history, so the Chosen Few DJs were popular DJs back in the late 70s and early 80s, kind of during the pre-house music scene. And then when the house music scene kind of developed, and we can talk about that as well. What is house music, and when did it arrive? Because a lot of people are talking about the 40-year anniversary of house music this year. But as far as the picnic, so we had been DJing all these years, and then a number of us moved to different cities, and people would always ask, when are you guys going to kind of get back together again and play together again? So we had this idea, and I think we're now in what's the 33rd anniversary of the Chosen Few Picnic and Festival. But at the very beginning, we had this idea of just kind of getting together and having a little picnic of our closest friends from the early house music days. So we started this thing around 1990, and literally there were 30 or 40 people in the park. You may have been one of them, Tina, but we were kind of just throwing the football around and playing softball and playing music in the background. And little by little, organically and by word of mouth, because a lot of this was even pre-internet days, or at least not what it is today, but just organically, word of mouth, that 30 or 40 people became 300, and then 300 became 3,000. And, we're somewhere in the stratosphere of 30 to 40,000 people today who attend what's now the Chosen Few Picnic and Festival, really from all around the country and all around the world. We never set out to have a big music festival of this type. And, we just wanted to sort of get together and celebrate the old house music days. And, for a number of years, some of us, including the person you're speaking with, was kind of funding the picnic events out of our own pockets. And, eventually it became so large that was no longer, possible or feasible for us. So, we hit a juncture in the road, I don't know, probably 15 years ago, where we really had a decision to make. Are we going to just kind of say that picnic was fun, it was a good run, and let's wrap it up? Or we had to figure out, how in the world do you put on a world-class music festival that's growing by the thousands? And I like to think that that's what we've done. We figured out how to put on what I consider, and I think a lot of people consider, a world-class music festival. So we're very proud of that. And knock on wood, knock on something, 33 years and counting. So we'll see where we go.
Yeah, I'm just reflecting. You said 15 years since we really got bigger, and big as it is now. That just really made me think about those days where there were 20, 30, 40, 50. I don't know, it just seemed like, I can't even remember when it jumped from just people that you knew to new people coming into the fold. What is your vision for the future of the festival?
Yeah, well, that's a great question, and the embedded in that is the future of house music in general, and it makes perfect sense for AARP to partner with us, and we're very grateful for that. I like to say that the demographic of the Chosen Few Picnic is 8 through 80. But the reality is that the bulk of our audience are people who are over 50, and it's a very adult event, and at the same time a family event. So I think, as I mentioned earlier, the event essentially started as a family reunion. Actually, literally, it started as a family reunion. Two of our DJs, Tony Hatchett and Andre Hatchett, had their family reunion around 4th of July weekend back in those days. And we kind of globbed onto that at the beginning. But I think probably the thing that has made the event so successful and why people still love it is that somehow we've managed to keep that family reunion vibe now with tens of thousands of people in the park. So that's probably and doesn't happen by accident, but it's a tribute to the music. It's a tribute to the people in the house music community, and so, for the future, and I say that because we really have a challenge on our hands, getting younger people exposed to house music, and certainly one of the ways we've been able to do that over the years is to have a long running major event of this type. So as I'm sure well, there we've got kids and in some instances grandkids who have grown up attending the Chosen Few picnic. So that's been a big help in at least not just the Chicago area but nationally in younger people getting exposed to this music. So as far as us, and I should mention the Chosen Few DJs who produced the event, myself, Wayne Williams, Jesse Saunders, Terry Hunter, Mike Dunn, Tony Hatchett, Andre Hatchett, and Kim Parham, who handles a lot of the administrative work for us. So we're very conscious of where we are in our lives and whether we can, how much longer we can continue to produce this festival. So we don't have any plans of stopping anytime in the near future. And quite frankly, I think the event has come to mean so much to so many people. We kind of feel like we have an obligation to make sure that it continues. So part of what we're doing is we're having younger DJs, play at the event. We are, identifying younger people, whether it's folks in our own families or otherwise who could, possibly take the baton when we're ready to turn this over largely and keep the event continuing. So yeah, it's very important. We're very conscious of both, reaching younger people with, this music and this culture, making sure this event continues to last after us. But as I said, our primary demographic is probably, most of us are in our 50s or 60s now. So, and that's a beautiful thing. We've all grown up with this event, and again, yeah, it's terrific to have AARP as a sponsor. And
speaking of bringing younger people into the fold, I think the pre-events, the events leading up to the festival itself, I know a lot of younger people attend those events, getting ready and getting prepared for the picnic festival itself. You mentioned the demographic, the main demographic of us being over 50. What does it mean to you? First, are you an AARP member?
I am an AARP member. In fact, let me see if I can find this here. So I was ready for this question. How about that, huh? How about that? I am an AARP member, and for a lot of us, when you're approaching 50 and you get that email saying that you're going to be eligible soon for AARP, it can be a little bit jarring. But then when you realize, the great programming that AARP has and the discounts for everything from hotels to restaurants and car rental, and there's also a lot of great information that they provide about retirement and different things. So I'm a proud AARP member, as you can see.
Yeah, I think as we get older and we have more time to enjoy life,
right?
All those things, the trips and renting cars when we go on trips, those discounts really do come in handy.
They do.
Why is it important to you to have a partner like AARP Chicago, especially for the demographic that is mainly going to be attending the event the Chosen Few Picnic event and those of us who've grown up in this event, you mentioned how we started in our 20s.
Yeah.
Not even thinking
Right.
about
Right.
what we were going to look like, feel like, be like, even if we were still going to be doing this in our 50s.
Yeah.
And some of us are 60s.
Yes. Yes. Some of us. So yeah, I mean, we're grateful for certainly all of our sponsors, as I mentioned earlier, as the event has grown and become so incredibly expensive to produce. So we're grateful for all of our sponsors, including AARP. And I did kind of joke before that our demographic is kind of 8 to 80. So there definitely is a lot of people in the over 50, but I should also be clear that, there's also a lot of 30-year-olds and 40-year-olds and folks that are, getting more seasoned. So it really is a family event and, folks of all ages. So, but yeah, I mean, again, AARP makes perfect sense for us to partner with, given where we are in our lives and careers in terms of the Chosen Few DJs and as producers of this event. So we're very grateful for AARP support.
As the event has grown, some of us, and we have grown as well, some of us need accommodations. I'm one of those people because of some physical issues with my knees and all of that. I can't walk as far as I used to. What are some of the things that you guys have added for people who have accommodations?
Yeah. We certainly try to accommodate folks as best we can and have the channels of communication open. And I know we've done a variety of things in the past, whether it's, helping folks park closer to the event, should they need that, or, picking up people in golf carts and taking them to kind of their space in the park, rather than them having to walk. So we're very conscious of those things and do everything we can to accommodate folks.
So if you had to leave a message to people, if you had to deliver a message to people in regard to the culture, the festival, what are we going to, like, when we get there, what are we going to experience when we're there?
Yeah.
What would those things be?
Yeah. So I guess first and foremost, it is like a concert. It's 12 hours of live music, actually a little more than 12 hours, but so live DJs, you have some of the best DJs in the world, both locally, nationally, and internationally. We also have live performers who perform as well. So that's sort of the music activity that's happening on the stage. What it really is, and I talked about sort of the family reunion history, but I think one of the things you'll find at the Chosen Few Picnic is, even if you're not a house head or you don't think you necessarily like house music, the Chosen Few Picnic also doubles as your family reunion, your high school reunion, your fraternity, sorority reunion, your college. So it's a time and a place where people come together to reminisce and have reunions. And obviously the city of Chicago gets some criticism, some of it deserved, and I think some of it a bad rap, about violence and things occurring throughout the city. So, we are extremely proud of the fact that, we've put this event on for 33 years on the south side of Chicago, and, the last, dozen or so years with thousands and thousands of people in a park on the south side of Chicago. And we have never had a single act of violence, not a single security incident, nothing at the Chosen Few Picnic. So, that's a credit to the music, the culture that surrounds house music, which really is a sort of a culture of peace and love and togetherness. And that's kind of how it was founded, and that remains true today. So it's a safe event. It's a family event. Again, it's a reunion where you're going to see people you haven't seen in years and that you grew up with and shared experiences throughout your life. So again, we hope that at the end of those 12 hours, everyone will leave loving house music. But even if they don't, you'll have a fabulous time at the Chosen Few.
Yes. Speaking of safety, how do you recommend we navigate on the day of? I know that there are lots of entrances adjacent to parking.
Yeah.
And things of that nature. So how do you recommend we navigate on that?
Yeah. Parking, unfortunately, is somewhat limited in just the area where we hold the event and the footprint. So we do sell certain tickets and ticket packages that come with parking. Those, fortunately or unfortunately, are all sold out now. So parking can be a challenge. So we do recommend that people take Uber and Lyft as much as they can, use public transportation as much as they can. But there is street parking and other parking in the surrounding areas. But it's easy to access the festival, which takes place at 63rd and Hayes Drive. We've got some main gates along Hayes Drive and then VIP gates on the east and the west. And so while parking can be a challenge, other than that, certainly safe and easy entry into the festival.
Tell me about some of the people that are going to, aside from the Chosen Few DJs, that are going to be participating this year.
Yeah, so we've got some tremendous guest DJs, really from Chicago. We've got Sundance, a female DJ, and I'm just so excited about all the women DJs on the scene these days, and we certainly try to feature them as well every year. So Sundance will be here, but we've got Timmy Regisford and Joe Clausell, Jihad Muhammad. All of those guys are from New York and New Jersey. We've got a DJ coming in from London named Neil Pierce, who's terrific. We've got live performers, Julie McKnight, who has a lot of sort of house music classics. And even if you don't know her name, you'll know about 5 or 6 of her songs. So we've got Julie McKnight, Fast Eddie, who was one of the original house music artists in the early 80s, is going to perform. And Jasper Street Company, which is a gospel house band out of Baltimore. And they're another group that even if you don't recognize their name, you'll know a lot of their songs. And when I mention gospel house, that makes me just say that a lot of people, I think they know what house music is. They think it's some little contained thing that they enjoyed back when they were in high school, but it's very much a thriving genre today. People are doing house music all over the world every day. And personally, the reason why I think it's the best genre of music is because it incorporates the best of other genres of music. Absolutely. So there's house music that's gospel influenced, it's jazz influenced, it can be hip hop influenced. But I think a lot of people think they know what house music is and don't really have a full understanding or appreciation of the various sounds and how big it is all over the world. I mean, South Africa is probably the hottest country on the planet for house music, but we get opportunities to travel throughout Europe and other places, and unfortunately, I think the music is more beloved around the world than maybe it is here in the United States or even here in Chicago. But so we're trying to do our part to even that score.
As originators of the movement and the genre. Chicago is and will always be known for house music. I kind of think of it as the legacy of house music is comparable to the legacy of Soul Train and the vision of Don Cornelius. You spoke about the multi-generational part of what the festival is and the all-inclusive part of what the event holds for us and the community. What do you think about the all-inclusiveness of it in regard to women, in regard to the younger generation? How is the Chosen Few picnic and DJs bringing in more women to the fold? I know you have a lot of women playing for the events leading up to the picnic itself, and also younger DJs leading up to the picnic itself. How are other ways that you are opening those doors for the younger generation to meld into what's happening and what has been happening?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I mean, we are bringing performers in and DJs in that are younger. We also have a lot of staff who actually work the picnic, and we deliberately, try to reach out to high school kids and college age young people. So we have a whole bunch of folks that we put to work every summer, in the planning of the event and the conducting of the event. We also, the Chosen Few DJs, have a nonprofit that we've established called the Beyond the Groove Foundation. And we're just kind of getting our footing, and it's difficult around picnic time because that's all encompassing, but we've got a lot of plans with our foundation in terms of working with young people on things like DJing, music production, sound engineering, sort of everything that relates to music and music production. So quite frankly, as some of us get to retirement age, I know personally that foundation work and working with young people is something that I personally want to spend a lot more of my time on, because I do think it's critical that obviously we want to introduce these folks to the music, but more important than that is we want to give these young people positive, constructive activities to do, like we had, and how we got sort of hooked into the house music scene when we were in high school. So I think there are not those same opportunities in terms of safe, constructive activities. So we look at our foundation as sort of twofold: passing the sound down, but at the same time, kind of a violence interruption thing as well, to get folks learning about and looking into more constructive activities in the city.
Speaking of the sound, you mentioned earlier about the gospel group that are going to be participating. You may not know this. I don't think I've ever shared this with you. I had the privilege of meeting Bill Withers. Mm-hmm. The amazing Bill Withers through Wayne Williams at one of the Soul Train Awards. There was an event. Sure. And I mentioned to him how influential his music was. And he said, "Thank you. You're so young." This was about 10 years ago. Right. And I said, "You would be surprised." I said, "There's a DJ in Chicago that is mixing your songs to house music, making it house music." He was like, "What is that?" Right. And so I turned on one of your mixes of one of his songs, and he said, who did this? Right. I said, the DJ, his name is Alan King. And so Verdine White,
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
right, he was at this event and he too was like, wait, what is that? And I said, this is house music. And he said, this is your song, talking to Bill Withers. And Bill Withers said, I guess that is my song. So, and then he said, well, who is this Wayne Williams?
Sure.
I said, well, he belongs to Chosen Few DJs. I said, Wayne also belongs to Chosen Few DJs. I said, and this is the kind of music that they play every year at their amazing event. And he said, so they're doing this with R&B music? I said, they're doing this with all genres of music. So I don't know if I ever shared that.
No, but I'm not surprised. So, you know, one of the best things about the picnic is being able to sort of reach out to these amazing artists who we like grew up on. And, you know, we grew up playing their records and listening to their records. And, you know, whether it's a Thelma Houston or a Stephanie Mills or, you know, all folks we've had perform at our event, you know, to be able to reach out to those folks. And, you know, in most cases, their heyday may be over and there are not a whole lot of people that are lining up to put them on stage in front of 30,000 people now. And to be able to provide that opportunity to the people that we have so much respect for and, you know, grew up, again, playing and listening to their music. So I thought of Thelma Houston when you were telling that story, because we had her a couple of years ago, as you know, and, you know, there's always the popular songs, and then there's the underground cult classics. And yeah, one of those was a Thelma Houston record. And we asked her, we said, you know, we know you're going to do this and that, but we really want you to do this song. And, you know, she had pretty much totally forgotten about this song. And in fact, she told me that, like, she has never performed this song since the time she recorded it when she walked out of the studio. And this is like a 40-year-old song. And so, yeah, I mean, there, again, it just goes back to the point that house music is so much broader than people think it is. And even some of the people who make music don't even realize that they're a big part of the genre. So that's interesting.
Big part of the genre, big part of the movement.
Yeah, absolutely.
So are there any parting words? That
nothing in particular. I just urge folks to come out to Jackson Park, 63rd and Hayes Drive on July 13. Again, you know, whether you think you like house music or not, it's a fabulous day. There's food, there's vendors. You can bring your own tent and set up in the park and just enjoy a wonderful day of sort of friendship and fellowship and music. And again, just want to thank AARP and AARP Chicago for partnering with us this year. We're really excited about the partnership and, you know, giving me an opportunity to talk a little bit about the event and, you know, what folks can expect on July 13th. So thanks, Tina. Appreciate it. And
well, give us the times again.
Yeah. So gates open. Yeah, we're kind of crazy. Gates open at 7 in the morning. No, I'm sorry, at 8 in the morning. Parking opens at 7. Gates open at 8 in the morning. And we're going to go till 10 p.m. at night this year, which is actually an extra hour. So it's an all-day event, and you know, urge folks to get there early and enjoy the entire day.
And the doors are open at 7, but people can come throughout the day. They can come in and out. Is that, you know?
Well, yeah, the in and out. At certain times they can leave and come back, but that gets, yeah. So the in and out is a difficult thing always for the event, but certainly folks can come at any point during the course of the day. Okay.
Well, I want to thank you again from AARP Chicago. We're going to let the music play, and those of us who look forward to this year, we coin it as the most wonderful time of the year. So thank you again, Alan, and I look forward to the picnic.
Thank you, Tina. See you soon.
See you later.
We were just looking for something to do. I'm one of the chosen I told friends that my family has a picnic that we go to right on the side of the museum. And little did I know, 40 to 50 of my friends was going to follow. And one of them was going to bring this DJ set up. And before we know it, we playing music and things kept kicking off. And the next year, we wasn't even thinking about it. People say, are y'all going to have that picnic again? And we was thinking, okay, why not? And from that point, it just took off.
My name is Wayne Williams, and I'm the founder of the Chosen Few DJs. But once I started playing disco, and I was getting all these calls to do parties, couldn't do them all. And I said, well, if I get other DJs helping me, we can do more and more parties, on the same day. So that was one of the main reasons why I wanted to start a DJ crew.
Everybody Wayne chose to be a Chosen Few DJ, had something to bring to the table.
Well, my brother, he was with Wayne, Albert first. I used to help carry the equipment. I started playing, and then next thing you know, looking at Chosen Few.
We started way back in 1990 or so with 20, 30, 40 people in the park, and we never could have imagined that the picture was going to grow into what it did. But I think at the core of it, the fact that it started literally as a family reunion, we worked hard to preserve the integrity of the event and to allow it to continue to feel like a picnic and a family reunion.
Chicago started house music. It was birthed right here in the city. We're probably the only festival that starts at 6 or 7 in the morning, let people in. And we allow people to bring their grills, their food, their drink, their tent. We get 30 to 40,000 true house heads.
It's an adrenaline rush. Can't explain it. The great thing I love about it is that it's at home. That's why it's so special. That some young brothers from the hood had an idea and ran with it, and it became what it is, which is what it is now. The largest picnic festival in the world.
The experience of Chosen Few, because I don't think people really understand unless you come and feel it for yourself what Chosen Few is about.